This mod is about to revolutionize trapping. Smoothies and my new mod, W Waypoints, is an all-in-one trapping mod that has literally every feature that you could ask for. We've gotten input from some of the biggest trappers and put a lot of time into it, so without further ado, here's everything that W Waypoints mod can do. And the mod comes out in just a few days. So for starters, it has a bunch of quality of life things that a lot of trappers need. For example, it has toggle sneak that you can open chests in your inventory in, which got removed in the most recent Minecraft update. It also has a toggleable sign GUI, so you can build your traps without having to open the GUI like a million times. It also has a bunch of super useful quality of life features, and I'll get into all of them, but let me explain how waypoints work first. So for starters, you can press your quick waypoint key to make a quick waypoint, and then press it again when you're over it to delete it. This is going to be useful later, but it's good to know now. You can press M to create a waypoint. This will automatically put you in the text box, so you can just name it whatever you want. Everything about these waypoints is customizable, and also it's customizable by default, so if you don't want your waypoints to look anything like this, that's okay. Alright, so now on to the waypoint menu. Okay, so there's a bunch of things that you can do in this menu, and we're going to go over them quickly now. So for starters, there's 4 types of labels. None, which is just gives the block outline. Text, which does just about what you would expect. Icon, which gives a block or item icon instead of the normal label. This is automatically whatever block the waypoint is on, but you can change it to whatever you want. And initial, which just shows the initial of the name. You can customize just about whatever you want. From the fill opacity of the block outline, maybe you want there to be no outline at all. You can make the label scale higher. And as you can see, all of my changes are saved. You can show the distance, you can change the color, whatever you want to do. You can do it per waypoint, and you can set it for every waypoint. By default, your waypoints will look like this, but you can change how they look by default with the waypoint stylus. So if you just go into labels, waypoint stylus, here's all your options for your default waypoint. So let's make my default waypoint a text waypoint without distance. Let's make the background opacity a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit more padding, make it a little bit bigger, and make it colored. And now, whenever I create a waypoint, as you can see, it's just like that. You can set your default block renderer to whatever you want. So if I want my outline opacity, my fill opacity to both be 0, then my waypoints just won't have any opacity to them for the block, which is what some people want. And of course, you can change this though. Just it's by default like that. If you delete a waypoint, whenever you make that waypoint again at the same spot, it will save everything, so you don't have to worry about accidentally getting rid of a waypoint that you want to keep. And just make this even more robust, you can always lock the waypoints, and that does 2 things. Number 1, when you delete it, it will give a confirmation screen, but also if you create a bunch of waypoints that you don't really want, using a keybind or this button right here, you can clear every waypoint that's not locked. This is useful because you can have a trap waypoint that you don't really want anymore from last Hoplite game or something, but you want to keep your 0, 0 waypoint, so you can just clear all of your trap waypoints without clearing your 0, 0 waypoint. Now on to clumps. This is how you make a multi-block waypoint. All you do is create 2 waypoints next to each other, and then clump them, and as you can see, you have a new clump. These are automatically by default set to editing mode on, but you can make them not open clumps, which makes you able to place waypoints next to them without it automatically connecting. This is super useful because a lot of traps aren't one block, so you can have an outline of where your trap is without having to kind of just guess. And these have all the normal settings you would expect them to have. Now this is another useful feature for trapping. Let's say you create a waypoint layout for a trap. So I'm going to connect these, maybe make them green. I'll call it pull because that's where I place my pressure plate. As you can see, we have the layout for a trap here. This is my trap here, and that's where I place my pressure plate. And we can even add a ladders waypoint over here. So as you can see, now I have all of my traps set up, but when I go far away, this kind of looks a bit ugly. I don't really want 2 waypoints for a single trap, which is why you can do grouping. If you select all of these and create a group, this is now a singular waypoint. It looks like 3, but when you fly away from it, it will collapse into 1 waypoint. You can set it to whatever you want, and as you can see, I have my waypoint for my trap. When you get close to it, it unwraps into all of these waypoints. There's no limit for how many waypoints you can put in a group, and you can change the group settings right here in the advanced tab. So if I wanted my group to maybe only collapse after 128 blocks, as you can see, I keep the waypoints all the way out until about 128. Another very useful keybind to keep your waypoints very clean is the hide waypoints threshold keybind. Let's say you have a lot of annoying waypoints that are far out. You still want them because they're useful, but they're really ugly. Well, you can press the hide keybind And now only waypoints that are in an allotted threshold will be visible. You can set it in the advanced tab to whatever you want. So let's just say you want only waypoints within 200 blocks. As you can see, my waypoint will stay visible until about 200 blocks. And this is super easily toggleable. Another useful feature is changing UI scale. If for whatever reason the menus don't fit in your screen, or they just get truncated weirdly, you can use this to change it to whatever you want. So if you play on a high UI scale, it can still look good. And lastly, for the quality of life features, you can also import Xeros's minimap waypoints. As you can see, I have 3 waypoints here. All you need to do is just choose whatever world or server you've had your waypoints on and press import. Now, just like that, I have all these waypoints. You don't even need Xeros to be installed for this. If you've made them at some point, you can just import them. These will automatically be locked just so you don't accidentally delete them, because usually they're probably going to be pretty important. This setting right here, sneak target blocks, is a super useful feature for trapping, and I'll show you why. Let's say you're building your trap, and you forgot to make your waypoints. Well, you don't want to go up, because that's dangerous. Well, you can actually make them from inside your trap. Whenever I sneak and press my quick waypoint button, whatever block I'm targeting now has a waypoint on it, and it doesn't matter where you are. So if I'm building my trap, I can actually make my pull waypoint without even going up, as you can see. And just like that, we have a pull waypoint with me being underground the whole time. Okay, so this next feature is definitely my favorite. It's called templates, and for experienced trappers, this is extremely OP. So let's say you make the waypoints for a trap, alright? So as you can see, I have all my waypoints for a pizza trap, and I like making pizza traps, so I want to make the trap again at some point. Well, you can actually save these waypoints and paste them back later whenever you build the trap again. All you need to do is face in one of the cardinal directions, so I'm going to face this way, and then group whatever waypoints you want to copy. We're going to call this group pizza, and we're going to press create template. Save, and there we go. So now whenever I build another pizza trap, but I don't have my waypoints yet, all I have to do is face in that same direction and press apply. And as you can see, it pastes all of my waypoints in for me. And the best thing about this is that this is totally directional. So let's say instead of building it this way, I build it this way. I can just view it again, and it applies in the same exact way. The templates save from wherever you were standing when you saved them. So if I wanted to save it from here, for example, then I would just press save here. But I like to save mine from just in front of the trap, just like this. You of course have an option for either the overworld, nether, or end. You can create waypoints in these dimensions without having to be in them. As you can see, I just created a waypoint, but it's nowhere around me. That's because it's in the end. And this works with custom dimensions too. So don't worry if your server uses some strange custom dimension. By going into controls, keybinds, you can set your keybinds for just about everything. So you can set your signed UI pop-up, clear your unlocked waypoints, create quick waypoints, hide waypoints, open waypoint menu, and open waypoint settings. It also has some nice integrations with chat. So if I put some coordinates in chat, let's say these, I can press them, and it creates a waypoint. We also have some super useful features for Hoplite, like supply drop waypoints and also auto pick waypoints, so you'll know exactly where your ladders are whenever you're done building your trap. There's a ton of other features in this mod that I'm sure you'll find just by using it. I'm just going to speedrun them right now. You can make the label height and fade out range longer, so if you want your labels to fade out quicker, then you can do that too. And also your labels to be higher. There's death waypoints, so if I /kill, then as you can see there's a death waypoint over here. Again, you can make this smaller if you want by default. And as you can see, whenever I get to it, it will fade out, and then it's no longer there. You can make it so that adjacent waypoints automatically clump. This is useful sometimes if you want to have this on. And of course, you can edit your templates whenever you want. There's also a feature for hidden potion effects, so if I give myself a potion effect without particles, it'll show up in the top right of my screen, as you can see. Anyways, that's about it for the mod. I'm sure there's a bunch of small features that I might have missed, but you'll probably find them just by using the mod. Anyways, I hope you find this useful, and see you later. Bye.